What's up, y'all? It's 10 at 3 time in Tennessee. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope everything in your life is going really well. Here on this Tuesday, February the 3rd, 2026. Wes Rucker in here with Elijah Nixon, and we got Ms. Ainsley back there on the ones and the twos. How are we doing today, world? How are we?
Oh, I think we're doing well. I'm doing fine. Can't speak for everybody else. I know Ainsley. Look, I just talked to her, asked her if she was going to go to the spring game. Probably not her cup of tea, but we would love to have her out there if she want to come.
Yeah, and that is, by the way, that has been announced. Tennessee's annual Orange and White game will be April the 11th, Saturday, of course, Saturday, April the 11th. It looks like admission will be free, so start time and all that other stuff will be announced later. But we got a lot to discuss on the program today. Tennessee with a basketball game tonight. The men Vols play Ole Miss, 7 p.m. Eastern, a game where Tennessee opened as an 11.5-point favorite, is now up to a 12.5-point favorite.
That's what I'm talking about.
No update that we know of right now on Felix Akpara. I'm guessing we will get that just before the game starts tonight. The injury report will be released, and then I'm guessing he'll be a game-time decision on there, and then he'll go see if he can get ready, and if he can, he'll play, and if not, he will wait until Saturday's showdown up on the frozen blue tundra of Lexington, Kentucky.
I would hope that they hold him out tonight. If the injury is as bad as we probably would assume, I hope they hold him out and just wait till Kentucky. Because if you're a 12-point favorite, I think, let's see some more. Let's let him rest a little bit more before we go on this run, right?
I think the problem there is the only problem that I see there is Akpara's mindset. He is relentless, and if he can play, there's no way they'll be able to shut him down. Like he's like they've even tried with that. Now he's got it's a calf now, but he's had that hip problem. Hip flexor kind of on and off, and they are consistently asking him to practice less, and he's like, no.
See, that's what I mean. Like, hold him out. I mean, it's not in the sense of that, they don't need him. They need Felix for sure. But if you're already a 12-point favorite, I think they could handle business. I think they can handle business. We've seen things go left with Tennessee before.
Yes.
But if you think you can handle business without him, try to keep him as healthy before you get back to Kentucky, because we all know Kentucky, we all know they want that revenge back against Kentucky. So if you could keep him and get him as healthy as possible for that game, because that's going to be a brutal one as well. Mm-hmm. So I would say just hold him.
Yeah, and we'll see, and we'll get to all of that later because we got a lot to discuss about that as I'm sipping from my brand new. Thank you to my lifelong friends over there at East Tennessee Children's Hospital. I am a brand ambassador for life. We were over there this morning, and Hank got another good report on his kidneys. So, again, thank you to everyone there. And all I can do is continue every single day. I can't hug every single one of you who works in that building.
Yeah. But
what I can do, and I will do, is be an ambassador, and I'll wear your swag, and I will do this for free, for life. Thank you, all of you. I love you. If I talked about you more, I'd start crying, and we got about 56 minutes of show left. So when I do that, I try to do that at the very end of the show in case I got to collect myself, because we got a lot to discuss with this. And the big news for Tennessee football anyways is still waiting on Joey Aguilar. That's I don't know if you want to call it a saga, but the news there continues on, and hat tip to Adam Sparks over at the Knoxville News Sentinel, who got this scoop yesterday and timed it very well too. I see what you're doing there, Adam. You smart fellow, you smart fellow. You timing that at 4:30 after they've closed the courts for the day. I see you. Good job there, Adam. Good work. But it's not a surprise in that we knew that Aguilar was going to separate from the Diego Pavia case. We knew that was going to happen, but he did sue in Knox County Chancery Court. So, again, not a huge surprise there, kind of pulling one on the old Bediaco, going to a local judge, Trinity Chambliss going to a local judge. Like, you see what's going on here. But regardless, the deal is there. It's confusing because, well, not confusing. Yes and no, because I think we can sort some of this out. What's going on is basically he has separated from the Pavia case, but if the Pavia case is successful, then that could very quickly become, within days, a class action ruling, and he could still kind of get that eligibility anyway, even if – so basically I think what he's doing here is taking two shots instead of one, right? So you're taking that case in Nashville because you're not technically in it, but you kind of are because it kind of affects you. But you're not. Your name is not on there anymore, right? And he's gone and gotten a Cam Norris, a high high dollar, well known attorney, and has sued in Knox County Chancery Court seeking an injunction, not a temporary restraining order, an injunction that would make this the law for now. And if he wins, then he could, I mean, he's not enrolled right now in school at Tennessee, but he could get enrolled. I wrote this down sometime in mid-March, I believe, he could enroll for mini term. So if the wheels get going on this, and he's asking for resolution on this quickly because it's like spring practice starts pretty soon, but also if he's not going to win this thing, it's full speed ahead to the NFL draft work and all that. So it's, they do need an answer on this. I don't know. So if I would say need, because the judge could just be like, you don't need anything. You need what I tell you that you need. I'm the judge here, right? I am the law here. But I think it makes common sense to get ruling on this one way or the other before then, because he is going to have to decide, okay, do I come back to Tennessee, or is that not an option? And how do I go to the draft? Because Tennessee, according to the documents anyway, which we have now obtained, but, you know, yesterday Adam and those guys were the only ones who had them for a while because, again, good reporting. Tip your cap, you know. Our competitors, when we lick you, we're going to say it, and when you lick us, we're going to say it. So they got us yesterday. Good job on that, Adam. But you look at basically what this is saying, and this is what this document is saying. This is not what Tennessee is saying. But according to Aguilar's representation in this suit, he has a $2 million offer to play quarterback for Tennessee next season. And so this is big money, and they feel like even though he did, it was like 7 years ago when he came out of high school, he only played 3 years of NCAA football. He was at the JUCO level for a couple of years. You know, they had the COVID year that didn't count, that they didn't play JUCO football. So he's got an argument here. I'm not going to sit here because it's a Tennessee player and change my stance now. I've said what I've said the whole time. I think JUCO season should count, and I'm sorry about that. But it's not something that I'm, like, morally offended if this goes the other way. That's fine. Go take your, just like Bediako, go take your case to court, and if you win, you win, and you get to play, and that's legal, and that's fine. But I would consider it unfortunate, but that it's still college. Because to me, you're opening up loopholes here. I'm always worried about something that is maybe unfair to a couple players now, but unfair to a tremendous amount of players in the long run. And so that's where you have to look at this like, okay, when you go fair versus unfair, I think you have to consider basically the size of each pile. And I think if again, this is one person's opinion, Elijah. If you disagree, jump right on it. But I think if you expose this loophole now where JUCO seasons don't count, then you're going to see a lot of guys who, if they're not quite, maybe they have FCS offers, D2 offers, they might go to JUCO even though they don't necessarily need to, because those seasons won't count. And they could still make big NIL money later. And then what you're doing there is you're taking opportunities away from the traditional aged college football players. Because if there's more spots for 23, 24, 22, 25-year-olds, that all those spots mean less spots for a kid who's 18 to 21. And so that's where, again, I do not blame Joey Aguilar for trying. I don't think it's wrong that he's trying. I think it's smart for himself that he's trying. And if he wins it, fair enough. And he'll go make $2 million reportedly next year and play quarterback for Tennessee again. And Tennessee could use him, frankly. But I feel like I'd be a hypocrite if I changed my stance on this just because it would affect a Tennessee player again. Like, I don't think Pavia should have played last season. I don't think Kitzelman should have played last season. I don't think Aguilar should play next season. That's where I am on this.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this is a situation that could really work out in Joey Aguilar's favor. Only for the simple fact that Tennessee swung in the portal to grab a quarterback and missed, and they still allotted money aside and the possible of Aguilar's returning, which is the $2 million, which that's a pretty lump sum amount of money for
100% raise from last year for him.
So it's like, I think it just benefits Aguilar, and if he does go out there and fight, the NCAA, that's a big fight. A lot of people don't understand saying the word "I'm suing" the NCAA might sound like, oh, he might. That's a big fight. That is a huge fight, and I'm gonna say why, because the NCAA doesn't back down from anyone. You see how many years
stupidly in their own case sometimes when they should.
And you see how many years it took for Reggie Bush to get his Heisman back. You've seen many cases in the NCAA wherever they thought that they were right, they're going to feel like they're right, and they're going to do what they want to do. So if Joey Aguilar, like you said, win this, it creates loopholes for not just, him, but a lot of people that's going in the future, which is, really correct. But if I only could say this with Joey, I think that with this move, and you suing the NCAA and then possibly coming back to Tennessee and grabbing $2 million to put back in your pocket, the only way I see for this now, and I'm going to go on record and say this got to be the move that's going to bring you a national championship. And I don't mean to put the ceiling on Tennessee. I don't mean to put that on
That's asking a lot. That schedule next year is brutal.
It's brutal, but at the same time, what kind of roster you have. And you putting that much money into a quarterback is telling me that you think he can take you over that mark. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the money, because Joey Aguilar deserves whatever Tennessee want to give him. It's just now that you've given him and you fill in his pockets with that much cash, he has to be the guy that brings a national championship here for the first time since 1999,
98, yeah,
98. So I think that this is a big ask, and I really hope that whatever happens for Joey really happens. That I can't really decide or say what, because I'm not the judge of the case. But I just know that if I'm Joey and I get granted this, I should feel like there's nothing less in the national championship that I owe the Tennessee Vols.
Yeah, the $2 million, and again, all of these numbers, until they're like actually firmly documented and we actually know this, then it's kind of like gobbledygook, right? Like I'm not saying it's pretend money, because there's real money there somewhere. I just don't know how much I don't know what it is compared to sometimes what's reported that there is, because sometimes those things, if they're not documented, they can be inflated or deflated depending on what people want out there in the media. And so I'm always, if I can't actually see documents or get it from someone who I trust to like the nth degree, then I take it with a grain of salt. But if it's $2 million, that's what Nico was making 3 years ago, I think. And, Levitt's making a lot more than that. I mean, some of these guys, are making, Mensa's making more than that. There's guys out there who are making a lot more than that. And so it's, I'm not saying it's small money, because it ain't. It's $2 million. It's a, hey, I'll take that. But it's not, to me, like top end. But it's enough to where you have expectations.
Exactly.
And their expectations are you're going to be better than you were last year, because you were good last year. And, hey, played through that shoulder injury, which we all know had to get that growth removed and all that. Like, he airdropped into campus in the summer, right? So, again, grading on a curve there. And I think overall, what would it have been last season without him? It would have been maybe a nightmare.
Right.
And so, but all those things that we just said about, kind of an interrupted off season, not knowing the system, learning how to work for Heupel, the pace, the tempo, what they want, how their kind of RPO stuff works, how all these things work, that would go away, because it would be your second year. And college coaches, as long as I've known them, have always said the most improvement a player makes in a college football program is between year 1 and year 2. Usually. Not always. Everybody's different. But if there's the most common time where big leaps happen, they're a second year playing in a system for a coach. And if you're doing that and you're 25 years old, there's expectations.
And that's where I'm getting with that. So his age, to me, from JUCO to now, where you're going to is possibly your second season in the SEC. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not a coverage you didn't see. There's not lingo that you and Josh Heupel haven't gone over. It's not that you don't know your receivers, whether it's Braylon Staley, Mike Matthews, whether if it's Travis King out there, whether whoever it is, these guys now. Ethan Davis, this roster, if you bring him back for that $2 million cost, I hopefully think that, and it's not just for Joey Aguilar. I think with Joey Aguilar being at the helm, if he does come back, this roster should tell you like they're in win now mode, because last year their thing was young guys don't have time to be young. This year, it's the season. This season.
This should be an old guy needs to be old.
Yeah, this guy old. Yeah, you need to show you got experience now. So what I'm saying is, like, with this team to me, like, I know we talk about a brutal schedule at LSU and with Alabama, with Auburn, all those guys coming here, but to me personally, you're going to roll Texas A&M. But to me personally, if you're gonna, I think every game this year will be a test to where they need to be, and I'm saying it right now. If you have Joey Aguilar at the helm, under center, coming into the 2026 season, there's nothing short of saying we deserve to win a national championship. Now, however you feel about that is however you feel about that. It don't really matter to me, but you should know that this team is coming with season. They're coming with a lot more veterans, guys that have playing time, and on top of that, you got guys all back in the right spots and in the right pieces with a brand new coaching staff on the defensive side of the ball that you believe in, and you bring in some talent on that side of the ball that you believe in. So I just say this: if Joey Aguilar wins that case, I don't expect nothing else but a deep run at a national championship.
Okay, there you go. That's more fair. I think certainly it is, and I think let's see. In terms of dates on this, there's a February 10th hearing in the Pavia case there, so we'll see. Well, there should be some sort of resolution on that, I would imagine, then or fairly soon after that. There's we'll see when things get scheduled in the Aguilar case. I mean, I'm sure it's been handed to a judge or being assigned to a judge, and so we'll see what's going on there. But again, I mean, I think the simplest way I can put it is what might be unfair for Joey Aguilar now and a few others now, the number of players it could be unfair to in the future if this case wins. I think if we're sitting here trying to call balls and strikes, I think we can't ignore that. And I think with anything, you can't just look at how's this affect this person or that person. And judges and lawyers have to think about this too. They have to think, if we are breaking precedent here, what are we doing if we do that? It's not just like, hey, you plug this hole and then everything's fixed. It's if you plug this hole, well, where's the next hole going to pop out? The water's coming out of the dam. Like there's a finite number of resources and a finite number of spots available here for college football, right? And so you're always going to have more guys who want a spot than can get a spot, but you're changing that calculus in a way that I'm not sure I feel good about if you allow this loophole. So again, it sucks for the guys. I mean, we're talking about a kid for $2 million. Like, I feel for that, right? Like that could, no matter what happens with him in his future, that would be huge for him and his family, his future children. I get all of that, and I'm not downplaying that at all. But again, you can look at a couple guys here or a bunch of them down the road. And again, that's how I feel about it anyways. And if I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong. And if somebody shows me numbers where that wouldn't be the case, I would be happy to see them. And I would be happy to be wrong about that, because I like Joey Aguilar. I like his family. I think everybody cool does. Too, yeah. So we got a lot more to discuss about this. We're going to flip after this and do some hoops, talking about Tennessee. Got a big game tonight against Ole Miss, a game that Tennessee should win, but a game that nonetheless is a big game. It's an SEC game. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not quite sure how I feel about this spread being as large as it is. But we'll talk about that here in a minute after we step away for just a minute right here on 10 at 3. Secret time? Are we in secret time? Okay, now that we're in secret time, I can say I think this chair is set on the Robin Wilhoit setting. I think I was right, yep. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, that's so much better.
Yeah, I centered myself up to this.
You may have noticed that there's if you've ever seen Robin Wilhoit and I standing next to each other, imagine like the pictures of me and Emily standing next to each other, and then add several inches to that. And we joke all the time about, when Emily and I do 2-person shots standing up, she's usually standing on a suitcase. Because if not, it just looks like, Schwarzenegger and DeVito in the movie Twins. It just doesn't look right. We're sitting there like, where's the viewer looking there? Where's the eye? Am I up? Am I down? What am I doing here? So we got that fixed. But as soon as I sat down, I was like, and then I'm not sure. Something feels a little weird. And then Elijah sat down, and I was like, okay, now that's really weird because this is not the angle that I'm used to seeing him from right there, and he was there yesterday, so I know I'm not going crazy here. My house is going crazy. I'm not going crazy.
I'm going crazy. I had to move it centered up because I forgot. I was looking at it. I was off center, but I'm back to it now.
Yeah. How much more time we got here in Secret Time, Ainsley?
30.
Well, then I might spend part of the second secret time talking about how fun it is to have your HVAC and your plumbing go out within a month of each other at your house. It's super fun, super cheap. It's great. Love it.
Everybody should do it. Right?
Love it. Absolutely love it. No complaints whatsoever. It's not just a comical amount of money. I'm not totally depressed about it.
I'm sorry, man.
Hey, we got the good news about Hank. That's all that matters. Sort of. Welcome back to 10 at 3, Wes Rucker, alongside Elijah Nixon and Ms. Ainsley back there doing the ones and the twos today, filling in for Lord of the Streams Tom Barclay, who worked a little bit over the weekend, obviously, with the weather, changing schedules and whatnot. So, Tom, it's either that or Tom just decided he didn't want to do a full week of the show. I'm not sure which one it was, but, I mean.
I think it was the show.
I didn't, listen, that was going to sound really self-centered for me to say that. But again, I just have questions. I'm not sitting here. I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just asking questions.
No, man. I sound like you're accusing. I sound like you're accusing.
Like the worst journalist in the world, I'm just sitting here saying, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. That's the cop-out, right? When people are doing things they shouldn't be doing. We got a lot to talk about here on the show today. Tennessee playing Ole Miss tonight. Basketball, the 25th ranked Vols, who computers still like more than humans do, for what, at least the humans who are voters, because the Vols are ranked 25th in the AP poll, not ranked in the coaches poll, still just outside looking in for that, despite being pretty much consensus top 20 metrics. So again, we're not talking the difference in being a top 5 team and being unranked here. What we're talking about is the difference in 5 to 10 spots, give or take. But still, nonetheless, it is interesting that when I look at that team, I see erratic, because we all do. Mm-hmm. But I see, on balance, absolutely one of the top 25 teams in the country. And at its best, I still think, might be crazy, one of the top 10 teams in the country when they play the way they can play. But that's, if they were doing that, they'd be in the top 10, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if I had wings, I'd fly, right? Like, if they had been doing what they're supposed to be doing, if they hit free throws consistently, not turn the ball over way too much, they'd be sitting there in the top 10 with maybe 2 losses tops.
I agree with you. I just think that you said the main thing, consistency, and that's what I want to see tonight. I mean, obviously, the spread has a lot of hopes in the Vols of winning, plus 12, I think is what the
yeah, it opened at 11.5 and it moved up to 12.5 now.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like they have a lot of faith. It's just, you know what? Prove us right. That's what I'm saying for tonight. Prove us right.
Yeah, don't prove us wrong. Prove us right.
Prove us right.
Prove us right.
Prove us right.
We're sitting there saying you're pretty good, guys.
Yeah.
Taking a little bit of flack for doing so, including from your own fan base. And we're not asking for a parade. We're not asking for a trophy. Mm-hmm. We're just asking for you to go out there and prove us right.
Win by 13.
Win by 13. Although here's why I do think Tennessee will win that game tonight. But when I look at this and I see that spread, and again, if we've learned anything in the SEC this season in basketball, it's that anything that happens on Saturday may not have anything to do whatsoever with what happens on Tuesday or Wednesday. And that happens that Tuesday or Wednesday might have no bearing at all on what happens the following Saturday. Like, it is chaos out there. There is, if Florida plays the way it can play, I think it's the best team in the league. I think it's one of the best teams in the country, maybe the best team in the country, if it plays the way it can play. Reigning champs for a reason, right? When they're so good in the front court, when their guards are just pretty good, they're electric.
Right.
They're a problem because they can take teams like Tennessee that usually out-muscle people, and they can punch back, and they can punch hard. And so if they do their thing, I think the best team in the league. And I know they've lost a couple games since Bediako came back, and we'll see how long he comes back. I still say if Alabama gets healthy and Bediako's in there too, by the end of the season, that could be one of the best teams in college basketball. People are going to look at me a certain type of way because those guys just went down to Gainesville and wore one. But good teams can go down to Gainesville and wear one. Tennessee got to the Elite Eight last year, went down to Gainesville, wore one. Went down there this season, wore one again. I'm not that's not the end all be all for me. That's a really good Florida team, and that says maybe more about Florida than it does about you. But I think if those guys, because we've seen this with an Oats team before a couple times, you're not really sure about where they are. They have a couple really good non-conference wins and a couple bad non-conference losses. Then they go into SEC play and they start out pretty hot, and then they go through this rut in the middle of the season where they're not playing defense, they're not rebounding, and then by the end of the season, they're right there, either an Elite Eight or Final Four team. We've seen it a couple times. And so I see what's on that team, and I still think look out for that team if everything comes together. But Tennessee is right up there at or near that top tier when Tennessee's doing what it should be doing. When it's playing the way that it can play, I still believe that because of the unique characteristics Tennessee has as a team. But I warn you this, Ole Miss has lost 3 consecutive games, and I'm not going to sit here and say that's not true because it is true. However, you look at those 3 games, 10-point loss to Auburn, a 9-point loss at Kentucky that was closer than that, and a 3-point loss at Vandy. And then before that, you got a 1-point win over State, a 2-point win at Georgia, 10-point win over Mizzou, and a 7-point loss to Arkansas. Other than Oklahoma, their SEC opener where they didn't play well at all, they have been in every game they've played, and they've almost all of them have been very close, win or loss. And so I'm looking at that spread tonight, and I'm not saying I don't get it, but I don't fully get it because I look at that and I say that's got to be something about matchups because just on paper it doesn't look right.
Either that or just how well Tennessee plays at home. I mean, besides that loss to Kentucky, really think about that. Think about how well Tennessee, they play very, very well at home. So I think with the spread is just saying that, Tennessee is a different ball club. If it was in Oxford, maybe the spread would be a little bit closer because they're a different ball club on the road than they are at the Food City Center. So I just think that that's what they're factoring in. And on top of that, I mean, honestly, I just think this is a team that, like I said, in that last game against Auburn, was it the most high-scoring game? No. Was it the most prettiest game or attractive game, the way if it was launching threes?
Never is with those two.
Absolutely not. But what I did notice about that Tennessee team, it brought a level of toughness. Now, if they could just get a well mixture of it tonight, I think that spread can be, reached by the Vols because I think, honestly, the Vols are a good team, but I think they're realizing how good they can be despite having so many mistakes. So many offensive rebounds come back your way. You miss a shot. Now a lot of teams think you miss a shot. Well, let's get back on defense. No, the offense still think they're still on offense when they miss the shot because they're grabbing these offensive rebounds, getting putbacks, and kicking it back out. The Vols are somewhat a tricky. It's a tricky team because it's like when they play motivated basketball, they look like you just explained, a top 10 team.
It's so hard to score on them when they're dialed in.
And then when they're not dialed in, it's just like, what are we doing? But when they're focused and having a goal in mind, which I think They will have one tonight because it just feels like that win could trickle into probably a win streak that we need to see from them. I think that tonight we'll probably see the best basketball they have played this season.
I mean, we'll see what's going on with Big Felix Okpara. We said in the first segment, we'll see, right, if he's needed tonight or not, or if he's going to play tonight or not. But the thing that about this team is that the reason things you got to follow me on this one. The reason that things are so frustrating right now is actually maybe a good thing for the long run. Because we can talk all day long about the toughness they showed in that Auburn game. Because they did. Physical toughness, mental toughness. Auburn didn't get put away early. Tennessee let them back in there with a couple of those dumb 4-point plays and a couple turnovers, and here you go, right? Bob's your uncle. And so all this stuff happens, and it's a dogfight down the stretch. Just a dogfight. And they held them off. But while doing that, didn't make a three-pointer, not one. Did not shoot particularly well from two either, other than some of the putback buckets. They showed you they can beat a pretty good team while not doing a lot of things that they could do. Now, they did the things they had to do. And at the end of the day, all you have to do is what you have to do. Mm-hmm. What they had to do, dominate the glass, second chance points, play defense, don't turn it over too much, hit free throws. Because Tennessee Auburn are always going to come down to free throws in a lot of ways because both teams, they foul each other for 40 minutes. It's 40 minutes of hand-to-hand it's 40 minutes of Mortal Kombat is what it is, or Street Fighter. And they call it sometimes and they don't others. But all of those things, if they do those things and they hit a few threes here and there, you know what you get? The 16-point lead over Auburn with a few minutes left in the first half when you are just wearing them out. That is what this team could be. Now, nobody stays on a heater for 40 minutes, right? Pistol Pete used to do it. Nobody else, you know what I mean? Like, people just don't do it. It doesn't happen. And so you're going to have ebbs and flows in games. But if the non-negotiable things really are the non-negotiable things and Tennessee consistently does those things and then just adds just a little bit of seasoning on top of that, just a couple threes here and there, right? Couple of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then that's a different team. That's the kind of team that could make a run in the postseason, I think.
I agree with you. But you know what, though? What I like about this, though, it felt like after that Kentucky loss, like these guys will have to, these freshmen will have to grow up. And I feel like this younger class grew up after that Kentucky loss because they're finishing games. I feel like they're understanding the game of basketball. Like, it's different in high school where you could just turn it on and turn it off whenever you want.
Yeah, 20 points without trying.
Yeah, you could do that whenever you want because you're the best person on that court and probably in that area. But when you got to go against the guys that also were great in their areas, it's a different game. How much can you, dissect the game and learn it mentally? Because physically, everybody has the tools. But when you start to learn it mentally and things start to slow down for you, I think that's what's happening with Detroit Hendersons, with Nate Ahmet, with Amari Evans, Dwayne Brown. I think everything is slowing down for those young guys in the sense of, hey, we don't have to be as dominant. We just got to just trust one another. And I think that's what they've been doing. And especially in that Auburn game, I feel like they just trust one another. Don't get me wrong. Nate Ahmet went 4 for like 18, I think, in that game.
4 for 16, yeah.
4
close,
for 16
yeah.
in that game. They never felt like they were out of it. Not at all. Boswell's coming and getting second chance opportunities.
He's a dog, he is.
When Amari Abram came into the game, he only played 2 minutes, but his defense was actually on par, So it's like these guys are just figuring out what are our roles, what do we need to do, because not every game is going to be the same. And they just was in a dogfight against Auburn. Now tonight against Ole Miss, I don't think it will be too much of a dogfight, but I think it will be something where they're going to take that mentality and bring it there. And I think, like I said, I think tonight will be the most complete game that we've seen from Tennessee this season.
Because when they've played complete games before, I mean, they did beat Houston on a neutral floor. Like they've had some. That's the thing that people. And I get why people do this because it's the natural thing for a lot of fans to do, because fans a lot of times it's this push and pull of optimism and pessimism, right? And worried about what's next, but also hopeful about what's next. And so your mind immediately, a lot of people, it goes directly to like some of those losses. And you forget things like, well, they've also had a few really good wins in there too. Like you watch Syracuse and you're like, how'd they lose to that team? Right? And then they didn't play that well and they had Kansas beat and just gave it away. And, they did beat Houston. Like they beat the tar out of Louisville, which didn't have its best player, but still. And so they've had these moments where that Auburn team went down to Gainesville and beat Florida, which is really, really hard to do. Mm-hmm. Maybe Florida got caught napping. Not sure why they would against Auburn, but I don't want to take anything away from Auburn because you see the way that team plays. They hit some threes with that physical, just annoying, relentless way they play basketball. And I mean that in a positive way. Like, it's annoying. They are in your face like gnats for 40 minutes and pushing the tempo, making you uncomfortable. I mean, Tennessee didn't have one of the best rim protectors in college basketball and won that game and never trailed. So you're seeing it's easy to go to a place of, I don't want to say negativity, but concern, right? Concern. And there's nothing wrong with it. If some people are just wired that way, right? They think first about what people could do to them, not what they can do to people. That's just kind of, I don't want to get to nature v. nurture, but there's different ways of being wired. And I just think the potential for optimism in this team also exists. And I think sometimes that gets sort of not forgotten, but minimized, maybe.
Yeah. And I think that it's funny that you say it would minimize, but I'll kind of change it a little bit. If they can stay out of foul trouble, stamp it right here.
15, well, that's a big ask with these fellas these days.
15-point game.
If they'll stay out of foul trouble?
If they stay out of foul trouble.
We talked about this yesterday. Just stop doing it. Just stop. Those dumb fouls in the first 5 minutes. Stop committing dumb fouls in the first 3 to 5 minutes of a game. They all count. They all count.
They do, but it makes me laugh because it's just like, the coach has been saying this.
In the NBA, you can do that all day long. You get six of them. That helps.
But it's a fine line between playing hard and, committing,
dumb fouls.
But at the same time, like I said, it's hard to say it because, these are young guys, so you don't want to knock them too much. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you want to give yourself a chance because once you start, subbing in guys or whatever, getting yourself in trouble and we can't get into a rhythm, or Tennessee, I should say, can't get into a rhythm, then I think that's going to be a problem. But if they don't commit those psychological things and let's really get into foul trouble, I think Tennessee will actually win this game by a lot.
When I say before we go to break, when I say a dumb foul, what I mean is there are times where hand slapping on the perimeter, playing high five with the 3-point shooter, right? Or
landing in his zone,
or a guy gets a half step by you and you try to reach in or whatever and poke at the ball when you've still got multiple defenders near the rim who can prevent him. I mean, now listen, they're going to get the rotation of the defense off, but they still could affect the play and they still could do the job. So, and if they foul him, it's going to be here's a real foul kind of foul. And the fouls in transition, you don't get anywhere near the body in transition. You come in there like a condor. You're coming from the side. You try to swipe at the ball up high. You don't make contact with the body because if you do, that guy's going down and it's an and one. It's just like, it's instinct, but why are you doing it? Like at some point you gotta. That's what I'm saying. Don't do those things.
What's our magic number on fouls tonight?
Before we go to break here, I mean, if they could not be in the bonus one of the two halves, that's a gigantic victory. Not be in the double bonus in both halves. Don't be in the double bonus in both halves.
I need them to foul in the second half. I need Ole Miss to miss 2 free throws so I get free Chick-fil-A.
There you go. That's what it's all about, right? It's all about the free food. That's what the people are here for. That's what gets them going. We got a lot more to discuss about this, and we're also going to hear from Jalen Carey when we get back. Tennessee's. You talk about the physicality. There's a nice transition into Jalen Carey. That is Mr. Physicality. So we'll discuss that and more when we come back right here on 10 at 3.
I used my rewards today, actually. Yesterday.
You used them yesterday. You got your
6
you got your chicken on.
I got my, what is it? 8? Is it 8 or 6?
I need to be going for the free food now. I'm telling you, man. That it's.
Do you not use it?
I forget. I never pay attention. I might have to now though. You get a brand new HVAC and then like a brand new entire plumbing thing for your like half of your house. It's like, ugh. I mean, I guess the kids don't need to go to college, do they? I mean, what? Maybe they'll get scholarships.
No, they don't need to go.
You know.
No, they go to trade school.
And if you thought you were getting a car, whoa, let me tell you, young people, young Ruckers, that stuff, they can come in there and they'll be like, it's $1 million. And you're like, okay, I know it's not that.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot and I know it's not cheap, but I know it's not that. And they're like, oh, what that? I'm sorry, we misspoke. It's $1.5 million. I'm like, some pipes, man. Like, I get it. Some work. Yeah. But like, and I get that like you got to do the labor. Like, I'm all for it, man. My dad's a retired contractor now. I ain't stingy. I'm all for the working man and the working woman. They need to get paid. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, it just can't. There's no way. It's not possible. We're not all getting 100% raises like Joey Aguilar might. You know what I mean? Like from year over year. Yeah. Be nice. Be nice. I mean, honestly, we got great news with Hank's kidney today, so that's keeping me in check here because these expenses for the pregnant wife, you're like, being an adult sucks.
It does.
You're listening out there, kids, don't ever grow up. That's what I say. Remember that. Remember that. That's the most important thing you're going to learn today from this show. Don't ever grow up. Leech off people as long as you can.
And download the Chick-fil-A app.
That too. Welcome back to 10 at 3, Wes Rucker with Elijah Nixon and Miss Ainsley back there doing the ones and the twos. Talking Tennessee basketball now here on this Tuesday, February
3rd,
2026. That's right. We got it right. I almost said January.
You almost, and I was like, don't take us back, Wes.
It took me a couple weeks to stop saying 2025 and start saying 2026.
How long does it, when I write it on paper, it really takes me about like 3-4 days.
I want to say it took me a little bit longer than that, but definitely not like 2 weeks. I think by like the 8th or 9th of the month, basically, I was pretty consistently at the beginning of the program every day saying 2026. Might have to check the tape on that to be sure, but that's what it feels like to me.
Check tape.
That's what it feels like to me. And speaking of things that happened in February, we also spoke with Jalen Carey. I say we, Elijah did yesterday before Tennessee's practice, before the Vols got in their final practice before today's shoot-around, before today's game against Ole Miss, talking about the physicality Tennessee plays with, about the rebounding, about the way some of his teammates have been playing, about his search for consistency, which has been ongoing. As we've said a lot of times, if he just do it, there's a player in there when he wants to. That's a double-double guy when he wants it, when he's dialed in. And coming back from his injury that he's been battling for a couple of weeks now. So we had a lot to talk about with Jalen Carey. And again, by we, I mean Elijah, because I was here while he was there doing this yesterday, speaking with Tennessee junior forward Jalen Carey.
Your knee been feeling okay since the Alabama game?
Yeah, just getting treatment with Chad every day, like twice a day. It's feeling better for sure.
What do you feel like went right for you the other night against Auburn?
Just doing what coaches asked me to do. Duck in, early, rebound, play with energy, and just be the dog.
What does it say about the front court? Obviously, Cade's been out for a while. Felix doesn't play, and you guys stepped right up and had a big game.
It just shows how strong we are. What we do every day in practice, it shows in the game. Just doing it more consistent is the big emphasis.
Felix isn't available. Do you guys think you can do that night in and night out, what you did against Auburn?
For sure, it's just starts in practice, starts today in practice, being able to consistently do it every day and every game, yeah.
How impressive was what Dwayne gave you guys in that game?
Just doing what he does in practice. He's a big guy, just like myself and JP and Fee, so yeah, we all go at each other in practice every day, which makes us better for us to do what we do out there in the game. So, yeah.
Did you see Auburn's coach refer to you and Dwayne as SEC defensive ends? And what was your thought on that?
Yeah, we probably could go out there and play defense end, but we love basketball, so yeah, it was cool for that, and yeah.
How much does it fire you guys up, maybe even you specifically and Dwayne, to be able to kind of like bully your way in the paint and attack the basket the way you guys do?
It's just something that we've done our whole life, really, just the way we're built. So just carrying it from practice to game and just being dominant, really.
Do you feel like you build fatigue the more the game goes on and you be more physical against other guys?
Yeah, for sure, wears down on them. Our emphasis is, like in the first half, everybody has energy, they're ready to hit, but when it comes to that second half, their body breaks down from all the body blows and stuff like that, so yeah.
Is that more on your training or is that more mental, like, I'm just trying to break them?
It's both, really, because you really can't train for getting hit all day. You can, but not like when you're built like me, DB, and JP and Felix, so yeah, most definitely.
You guys are one of the top teams in the nation, total rebounds, offensive rebounds. How much pride do you take in that?
Yeah, it's something I've always took pride in. Good teams usually rebound the ball at a high level, especially offensive rebound, because your best offense can be when you're not hitting shots and making layups and stuff like that. You can always offensive rebound and just get extra shots like that.
Rick talked about, I guess, the week between Kentucky and Alabama, you know, to practice where they held Jacoby out to try to learn to play better without him. What, in that practice and then having to do it on Saturday, what did you learn about this team?
That we can do it. Even when Jacoby's not doing what he does normally, we are able to step up and help the team get a win. And like you said, we showed it the other night, so yeah.
How rewarding is it for the team to be in foul trouble but not have anyone foul out, being able to work around guys sitting up there?
Yeah, we've emphasized that we've been fouling a lot, giving teams extra shots, especially on those three-pointers. Coach likes to say you're an idiot if you foul three-point shooters. So yeah, just stop doing stuff like that and just being better.
How have you seen Bishop really step up in that point guard role, especially when Jacoby is sitting out like he was the other night?
It's huge. Bishop does it a lot in practice where he brings the ball up, running the point guard when Kobe sits out for a few reps. And he kind of like does what he does in practice. He's just handling the ball, running the team, running the offense, and just getting everybody where they need to be.
What would you say is his most underrated skill or strength?
His mid-range, really, and being able to get everybody connected, really, I say. We kind of listen to him a lot in the huddles. He's kind of like a voice that we use in the huddle and on the court, so yeah.
When you guys miss a shot, how confident are you that someone on your team is getting it back for an offensive rebound?
Pretty confident. Like you said, we're the best offensive rebounding team in the country, so we're pretty confident that whatever shot we shoot, we're going to be able to go get it, either me, DB, JP, or Felix, so yeah.
That was Tennessee junior forward Jalen Carey speaking with us, and by us I mean Elijah, over there at the arena yesterday being Monday. And it's always funny, to me anyways, like we talk to so many like people in this job, and when I see somebody or I've seen them on TV, like with Carey, because he was at Vandy before I ever talked to him, and I just, in my head, I'm like, I play like a game, like I bet his accent's going to be this or that. And he's like a full octave higher than I thought it would be. Like his voice is just, I was expecting a little more bass, if I'm being totally honest. Like it's a little higher than I thought. Like he's at a different, his positioning in the choir is different from where I would have it, I think.
Maybe because he's in a calm setting.
Maybe it's true.
If he was angry,
maybe the fight or flight pops up and he bows up and gets a little bit like this, like my dog who's got a different bark for when he's playing versus when he's trying to scare somebody away. You know how you get a slightly different pitch there in the growl. But I mean, I think I love how frank that Rick Barnes will be with the players, and basically you get Carey sitting there saying, yeah, Coach Barnes says we're idiots when we foul 3-point shooters. Like he says it takes an idiot to do that. So, he's like, we were idiots 3 times in that game. So, I mean, it's the way that he has just consistently, I mean, his message to Carey could not have been more consistent all year long. It's that you are a better athlete than you think you are. You are a better player than you think you are. but you don't work nearly as hard as you think you do. And if you will work the way I need you to work, you'll be incredible. He says that to him all the time. He's like, you have no idea how good you could be and how good we need you to be. And if you will just play through fatigue, if you will just push yourself a little bit harder, an extra rep here or there, an extra sprint here or there, I'll get you out of the game when you're tired. No worries. Just go. But when you're out there, pedal on the floor, go. And with Carey, you see, there's a reason that, and again, I don't think it's judgment. I think you just look at it as kind of a fact to say that when somebody's been at 3 schools in 3 years, even though he went with the same coach from one to the other the first time, fair enough, sometimes a rep comes with that of, well, you're someone that people aren't banging down the door to keep around, or you're someone that, there's questions about you, which is why they maybe didn't give you the money that you think you're worth or that you got somewhere else. And with Carey, it ain't got nothing to do with ability at all. And you can tell now with the way that Byington and Vandy's coaching, that guy going, Carey going to James Madison in the first place didn't mean anything. Because that guy, that Vandy coach, that guy knows talent. That guy gets talent. Mm-hmm. That guy develops it. He understands it. He's smart. He's a very, very, very good coach. In the running for National Coach of the Year for a reason. And it's never been about ability with Carey. Even though he's slightly overlooked as a prospect, if he's 6'10", that's not happening. But he's 6'8". But what he can do physically, I mean, when he digs in, you can't move the guy. Right. It's when you watch him, at least for me anyways, I'm no longer surprised at watching guys bounce off him like a trampoline. And I'm no longer surprised about his ability to score over guys who are longer than him. Sometimes length gives him trouble. But you've seen this too, Elijah. You're down there on the floor a lot of times getting shots of this. When he bodies somebody, when he goes chest to chest or tail to tail with you, you're moving. Like, he ain't the one moving. You're moving.
Yeah, I agree with that. When he does put his head down and want to, make a move and make a power move, I'm not gonna lie, I feel bad for the defender because he's going right into the guy's chest, and if the guy got asthma, I know he's taking a pump after the media timeout, or probably by the foul call. Jalen Carey's a big dude, but he's not the only one. JP plays with aggression. Dwayne Brown plays with aggression. So when Felix is out there, he has he's not as muscular as the other two, but he doesn't seem like he doesn't shy away from the aggression as either. So I think that to get back with Jalen Carey, I think with him, if he plays like that every single night, Jalen Carey is a walking double-double.
Yep.
I don't see anything else outside of Jalen Carey because I think he can put the ball in the hoop a couple times. I think he can go grab two or three rebounds of possession, depending on, if Nate or whoever, Jacoby, misses a shot. I think Jalen Carey has a double-double. He could be a double-double guy each and every night, but it just has to show.
Well, because you see this, there's different, like, guys who are twitchy are usually, they're very sudden.
Right.
So like, but you can occasionally see a guy who feels sudden even though he's not super, super twitchy. Carey is just so powerful. It's not that he's graceful, but he's so powerful that he's got just enough quickness on top of that to make him feel sudden. Because the strength gets on you the second he gets a hand on you. It's not like he's got to really get behind it. It's like when he's there, you feel that immediately. Exactly. You have to, because you can. I mean, on some of the, on some of the like the footage you have, like that's got the, the sound with it as well. You can almost hear like the air leaving guys when he gets a chest into them. Like you feel it, you hear it, and there's not a lot of guys at this level who have that much power. Mm-hmm. And so, but it's just getting it consistently out of him every day. If he'll just push through that, man, you're talking about a guy who's got game. He's got game. He's got some touch too now. I don't care. I watch the form. Disregard the numbers, look at the form. The guy's got touch.
Well, you see that at the free throw line. He's gotten way better at the free throw line.
The touch is there.
Yeah, so you see that he has a shooter's touch at the free throw line. And he finished around the rim well, but like I said, he has the ability to be the third guy, if not the second or the first guy in leading points that night, depending on what the matchup is. So I think Jalen Carey has a high ceiling. It's just that we didn't see it consistently yet, but that will change tonight. I'm telling you, Wes, it will change tonight. I see it. I feel it. 10-10, double-double. I'm not talking about an In-N-Out burger. I feel it. A double-double with a side of animal fries.
There you go. That's the prediction from Elijah Nixon. He's gone double-double on that. That's what he's doing. Guys, thank you for watching today. We'll be talking more about this game in 23 hours because we'll have a result from this game, and we'll have no clue what's going on with everything else in the world, with football, with the amateurs, with the rules, with the who's in, who's out, what's going on. Hey, we're not going to have all the answers in 23 hours, but we'll have more than we had today. So we'll be right back here to do that in about 23 hours.